Good afternoon, Tutorial Tuesday. Back again. I'm going to talk to you about something today that can be a double-edged sword, can be a little scary. One thing that we've done is harness the power of other people's money, and we used it by doing something, or using something called leverage. And what leverage is essentially using bank money to purchase more with less of your own money. Everybody remembers the game Monopoly, where you could buy 4 greenhouses, and that entitled you the right to then potentially buy one red hotel. And theoretically, you should be making more money if you own something bigger than the one little greenhouse. Let's say you had $100,000 to invest. So you have $100,000 to invest. And with that $100,000, let me just say I just went out, bought a house outright, and I got an 18% return on my money. So I bought one house, 18% return, which is great. It's a great return on your money. You're managing a property. After you pay all your expenses, you're making 18%. Well, let's say that you could go out and buy 4 houses for that same $100,000. And you put down, let's say you put down 25% on each one. Typically, banks require an investment 20%. A lot of old school mentality is not to have a mortgage, to get it paid off. There's 2 things that you're going to learn. There's something called good debt and bad debt. Bad debt would equate to, your own home because it's just money going out. Your car, credit cards. Good debt is using someone else's money to make money. And that's essentially what this is. That's what real estate is. And that's how we've grown, is we've used other people's money to make money. So we've leveraged how we do things. So a lot of times people say, well, I got $100,000, I want to buy one house, and my God, I'm making 18%. That's amazing. Well, what if I could show you that you could buy 4 houses with that same $100,000? You could buy 4 houses for $100,000 each. And that would be, you'd put down $25K on each one. So $25,000 on each one, and let's say now you're not getting 18% return. Let's say you're getting an 8% return on each one. So after you pay everything, your debt, or after you pay your mortgage, your interest, your expenses, all your fixed costs, you're getting 8%. So, well, if I'm making 18%, why would I want to make 8%? Well, actually, no. You're making 8% on your $100,000 on each house because you leveraged your debt. So you're actually making a 32% return on your $100,000. So at the end of the year, theoretically, you should have a profit of $18,000. Where this, on that same $100,000, you should have a profit of $32,000. So by leveraging your debt, you're actually able to make a lot more. And obviously there's also all the other advantages that come with owning 4 multiple houses. If the one house, if something goes wrong, tenant moves out, tenant damages the property, you might only make $3,000 to $4,000. Who knows? Rent's not paid, an eviction. Well, let's say one house goes horribly wrong and you make nothing. Well, you still potentially could make $24,000 because you mitigated your risk. You now have one house went wrong, you've got 3 that are good. I'm going to tell you a real story about how I actually turned one greenhouse, which is pretty cool, into a red hotel. One of the first deals that I ever did, I believe it was a Craigslist ad, and the guy wanted to sell a property. It was a 2-family home, wanted to get out, had bigger stuff in his portfolio, had huge apartment buildings, didn't really want to own little properties. And it was a 2-family home, and I think he wanted $25,000. It was in a decent area, but it needed a lot of work too. I actually put it under contract for $20,000, got him to hold a mortgage with no money down. So I actually took a house, and I had purchased it for $20,000, and I think I probably put in, let's say, 15 to 20. So let's say I put in $20,000, which is probably about right. So I was after 4 years, I was into the house for $40,000. I then took that and I sold that for $60,000. So cool. So I made some cash flow, I made some rents, and I was able to sell it for $60,000. Well, I got a check at closing for $60,000. well, what do I do with the money now? I actually identified a 5-unit property, which had a big commercial storefront. It had 4 apartments. Everything was in pretty good shape, and was able to secure that property for $177,000. So I took this and used it as a down payment on this. But here's the cool part of the story. I took a $20,000 home just off of making a call off Craigslist. I put in my own money. I made cash flow, and I probably equated to $20,000 in cash flow over the 4-year time. So really it was essentially free money if you look at it like that. I took the $60,000, I put that down. My mortgage was, believe it or not, I think it was around $180,000. I paid that down about $30,000 over a 5-year period, and recently just sold the property, sold this for $350,000. And I paid off a mortgage of about $150,000, and I got a check at closing for right around $200,000. So I was able to take just a little bit of effort, found a home, identified it, put some money in, got good tenants, stabilized it, sold it, used this then to catapult me into buying a large commercial property, use that as a down payment, and then at the end of the day, I was able to make a profit after the holding period, the pay down of right around $200,000 after I sold it. So, actually, let me show you something I didn't do, but I could have done. I could have then used this to say buy $1 million property. I could use this to buy a $1 million property, and I could have put my $200,000 down, and I could have then had an asset worth $1 million, all started from a $20,000 essentially investment. The biggest thing in real estate is effort. You can do due diligence to the day you die. You can spend time, educate yourself with the basic knowledge of real estate, and then take action. Sitting on the bench is gonna just get you right there. It's gonna get you splinters. And if you really want to start making money, you have to take action. Just shows you how you can take those little greenhouses and grow it into one giant red hotel. Don't sit on the bench. Get out there, start playing the game, and it can be fun. It's a lot of work, but in the end, it has a great reward. You can buy another house. Anyway, how does it go?
You buy 4 houses, and then you can buy 1 hotel.
Yeah, so you buy...
Well, it's a motel.
You can buy a strip club, you can buy no, I'm just kidding. So, edit that part out. So, everybody remember...